What's good, everybody? It's your boy Doc Holiday, and it's my co-host Tamona. SheLovesThee. We're back with another Monday night review, another branch of HBCU OverDrive live stream. If you haven't done it by now, please like the stream, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe. Subscribe to both channels. Um, you get everything. You hit the notification bell to get everything on either HBCU Overdrive or She Loves the podcast. So
Hey, how you doing?
I'm here. I'm tired. That's the reason why I'm doing this short show. Um, Not gonna be no more than like an hour. So, but how's your day going?
Good, hectic. Hectic.
Oh man, but yeah, it's slow. Let me hit that ticker.
All
Oh yeah,
right. Well, we
let's
getting ready
get
to talk
to it.
about the Legacy Bowl.
Hey, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it
All
going.
right.
So the first thing first we're gonna talk about is the HBCU Combine and Legacy. Well, not the Legacy Bowl, but it's the Combine. HBCU Combine. If you didn't get the chance to watch that, that did come on NFL Network today. Um, it was actually interesting watching it. Uh, Getting different things going on as far as who did what, who ran what, who 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 impressed, who was the most impressive throughout the whole combine, and who might need to go back to the drawing board to get their stuff straight. So now, let me see. Trying to find the, but I did hear good news from the representatives that's at Jackson State. I did hear that um, Nugget. I think I told you this earlier. Nugget ran his 40-yard time was between a 4.3 to a 4.48.
Yeah, I put up some of the people that were there, like what they were saying on Twitter. I put it up.
Oh yeah. Let me move
These are
down.
like some of the highlighted uh HBCU players. Of course, we have Dejon Warren from Jackson State, Jordan Lewis from Southern, Ja'Cory Rankin from Mississippi Valley State, Darius Hagans from Virginia State, Xavier Smith from Florida A&M, and then JJ Holloman from Tennessee State. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's important to highlight that because this particular combine is sponsored by the NFL, of course, they make sure that the teams come out and support. I can remember that Deion Sanders was like, "We don't need to have a HBCU combine separate from the NFL. They just need to have it all at once." But I actually like this setup. It gives HBCU players the chance to highlight themselves, and then of course they're also going to be competing in the Legacy Bowl. So I actually like that idea.
Okay. Uh,
Let's see if I can
I'm
find the
sorry.
footage of Xavier Smith. I don't think I haven't seen the footage from when Nugget ran, but I did see Florida A&M Xavier Smith, and he was
Oh,
running a four
he
three.
was flying. He was flying down. He was. I think uh his first 10 yards, I think he was uh like a 1.2 or something like that. 1.1. But he was literally flying down. He kind of cruised through that 40-yard dash. I think he could have ran that a little bit faster. Uh his 40 time was a 4.39, if I'm not mistaken. His 40 time, yeah, I think his 40 time was a 4.39. Let's see.
Let me see.
And I apologize if you think the stream is glitching. Um, I apologize for that.
Can you see that
Yeah,
video?
yeah, I see it. But it was going. But it was going, y'all. He was flying down the field.
They also have footage of this is one of the players. Of course, they do all sorts of like measurables,
Mm-hmm.
and um I even saw some footage where tight end Kamari Everett was getting I think he got past the ball from one of the quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah. So they do a throw. The quarterbacks do passing drills. Um, it's basically to see if they can do short, intermediate, and then long range.
This is it right here.
Yeah,
Good. Good square cut, A. Good. Get upfield. Good. Good square cut, A.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Get upfield.
They. I
Good.
mean, because what it is basically they treat it like an actual,
Good. Get upfield.
like it's the actual NFL combine. So, of course, of course,
This
that's how it's
particular
going to go.
quarterback's from Langston.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah, that was good. Like that was a good deep ball right there. But I think it would have been better if like it would be able to like soon as, so even though that he had kind of had to stretch out for it to get the ball, like you want to put it just like in the bread basket. Running back drills. And like I said, these are the same drills that they do at the actual NFL combine. When they go to Indianapolis, which is uh next week. When they go to Indianapolis next week, that's when that's this all what they do. The only thing I don't think they don't do here at this combine than what they do at the main combine is the um I don't know if they do the Wonderlic test. And the Wonderlic test is basically all it is just testing your knowledge at a actual kind of like a fast pace. And it's not like you have to know the answer. It's like one of those like answer it in a fast and meaningful manner, but it kind of sees how you think well on your feet, and the
Those are some of the scouts that were there.
yeah,
Chargers. The Panthers definitely need to be there. Jets, Green Bay. Look,
that was the Panthers.
Panthers definitely need to be in the building for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, they need to be there.
I bet. Shoot, I don't know what they should have. My Cowboys should have been there. I don't care anybody say. My Cowboys should have been right there. But I got a chance to watch a little bit of it earlier. Since I told you that my day was slow like molasses this morning. I mean today. So I got to watch the defensive line drills, uh, which was very interesting, and it was. I just say it was interesting to the point where like they was doing different. They was doing different drills. Um, is the one drill where it's kind of like you going in a figure eight. Um, it's two hoops, and you're going in a figure eight. You picking up a beanbag and you're placing it on the inside of the hoop, and then you go around and you pick up another beanbag, and then you kind of do it like a eight, like a circular eight motion to the other onto the other side of the hoop, and you place the bag inside of the hoop, and then you sprint off. So basically, what it is, that drill is basically telling the defensive line, that lineman, to get low, bend your body, you know, um, and that's how you will get to the quarterback. That's how you create pressure on the quarterback. If you get low, bend your body. Like if you watch James Houston, and if you got a clip of James Houston, uh, probably put the clip up when he first, um, maybe his second game when he started playing. Not for Jackson State, but for Detroit, and you would figure out that like that bend, um, what I'm talking, kind of like what I'm talking about.
It's interesting that I didn't know this, but James Houston was denied an invite to the NFL Combine as well.
Right.
So I do think that the NFL Combine is important between for your draft stock. Um,
That's true.
because if you see like they're saying Nugget did really good at this HBCU Combine, that's important. Just because he doesn't have all the film that he needed.
I knew a
So
lot of people that didn't really have film, and they still got drafted. And I'm talking about players like that went to like D2 and D3 NAIA schools and got drafted.
well, just I'm just pointing out that I don't
Yeah,
know we did one thing that he has going for himself. We did have a lot of scouts coming to Jackson State fairly regularly. So they were able
right.
to see him during practice. But um and I see that he was weighing in at like 185. Would they expect him to pick up like 10 to 15 pounds?
I mean, well, you can pick 10 to 15 pounds up. You eat. I mean, like you eat enough, and then part of it you gonna burn off, and then the other part you trying to build them. You trying to build muscle. So with Nugget's case, because he played cornerback, his dad, his dad, uh, what's going on, Jay Blue? his dad said he was a better safety than he was a than cornerback. And when you're playing safety, you're pretty much 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. But you can see everything from from the vantage point. And so with him, I'm thinking he'll be more of a free safety because he does have the coverage skills. He also has the speed to keep up with that he has the speed, so he won't get beat deep if they put him on a deep threat. Um,
So
I will see
basically, he doesn't need to gain any more weight.
he can gain a little bit more weight. I think he could gain probably at least another 10 pounds, another 10 to 12 pounds. I say get him at 200. And he's good to go. And as long as it doesn't affect, as long as the weight gain doesn't affect his speed and mobility, um, that's a win-win for him. That is a win-win. That is a win-win situation for him. So, like, you want him to pick up that weight, to pick up that weight, that muscle. So, because also with free safeties, you can actually cover people in the slot. You could cover the tight end. Um, um, they can move you all over the field, but because he can actually cover as a cornerback and he can hit as a safety, I will put him in that position. You could flip flop with him. He's more like, to me, woo. I give him his comparison like Byron Jones of the Miami Dolphins. He got drafted by the Cowboys. The Cowboys didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know if he was a safety. They didn't know he was a cornerback. They tried him at safety. It was decent, but our need was, what's up, Big Lauderdale? Our need was with cornerback. So he became pretty much almost a shutdown corner for us for a while. Then he got the big money to go to Miami, and the only thing is he only got 4 career interceptions in like 8 years, which is not a good thing to have, especially if you're a shutdown corner.
So, this is one of the highlighted players for today. His name is Kashawn Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Hampton defensive lineman,
Oh yeah,
and they were saying his measurables. He ran a 4.740.
that's decent. What's his
For
measurable?
a
Six? Is that a
defensive
six?
lineman, 4.7 that's fast as hell for a defensive lineman that weighs
What's his
280
size?
pounds.
6'7" what?
You don't see it on the do you see it on the board?
Yeah, I see it, but it's still small though.
Oh, okay. It says, let me see if I can.
I
It
got it.
says he ran a 4.7.
6'2", 6'2", 280, 4'7", 4'4" show.
4.740 at 280 pounds.
That
That is
36 and a half,
awesome.
that 36 and a half vertical leap right there at 280. Yes, that's that's a freak athlete. That's a kid right there that can he's whoo. And I would I let everybody know with G Gerald Huggins, he knows what he's talking about when it comes down to it, because former defensive line player too for him. Um, um, he's good at analyzing and critiquing D linemen, defensive players to be exact. So shout out to Gerald. Um, but at 6'2", 280 and run a 4.7, that is still. I mean, that's good. That's good. I can't even fault him for that. I wonder how much he pitched. Mm. Keep going. Keep going. Woo. Keep going. Keep going. Well, man, did it say how many reps he did? 225? 33 times. And that's Keyshawn Moore right there. Oh my goodness. Yeah. He different. he different. He different. I see him actually getting drafted. Uh I wonder if he got invited to the main combine for next week. And if he
Usually,
didn't,
when they get invited to a HBCU Combine, they're not then invited to another one.
and that makes no sense.
I mean,
Granted that the team was not that good this past season, for them playing in the Colonial. Um, he actually, let's go back to his
I
stats right
didn't know
there.
that Jason Dumas decided to declare for the NFL.
Oh yeah,
When did I miss that?
oh yeah, they did his measurables too. Buddy is at 5'8" and 7/8", and he's at 278, 280.
I feel like a lot of this stuff is definitely like paper, like metrics. So basically, if you meet the metrics, then you know you have a chance of getting drafted. But it's also important to note that not only the NFL was there, XFL was there, and I think they're doing drafts. Is it what's the other one that they have?
You got the USFL who is
USFL is
starting up.
drafted next week, right?
Yeah, so they're because their season starts in April. So that way the XFL started Saturday. So they had games Saturday and they had games yesterday. Um the USFL is going to start in April. So basically when the XFL starts going into the playoffs, the USFL is about to start its whole play. So they won't uh I won't say interact with each other, but kind of they won't. They'll only be playing together probably like maybe like a couple of weeks, and then after that the USFL goes. It'll be in full swing after the XFL is done, and then of course you got the CFL that they start in June. But as far as the Legacy Bowl participants,
We only had one player that was like there's a lot of players from in the SWAC that were invited. There was 4 from Florida A&M.
mm-hmm,
There was 2 from Mississippi Valley,
mm-hmm.
1 from Grambling. Jackson State only had 1, but that that's just to work out excuse me, at the HBCU Combine,
Right.
but we've had over 4 players that were actually invited to play.
Right.
So I'm wondering, is Tony Gray still going to be playing? Because even if some of these players don't necessarily, um, well, it's good to get put on the radar, but XFL and USFL are also there to
Hmm.
get a look at these guys at the actual game, and they were here today.
Right. Look at that. You got
Had a
Southern
lot
with
from
seven.
North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, you got 7 players from Southern. You got 6 from Bowie State. You got 5 from FAMU. Another 5 from, I think that's Lane at the bottom. Um, 5 from A&T. 4. This is surprising right here. This one right here. 4 participants from Benedict College. That that just tell you the type of season that they had
Why
last
would
year.
that be surprising to you? All them as good as they was last
But
season.
because before Coach Berry got over there, they were not that good.
I mean, the
Before
same thing could be said about Jackson State.
and it's true. Yeah. Jackson, we had a whole bunch of knuckleheads. That team was a lot of knuckleheads. So and that's the reason why the team got gutted like that. That's the reason why the team got gutted. So um Legacy Bowl is Saturday, 3 o'clock in New Orleans at Dumas Stadium on the campus of Tulane University. So that game is at 3 o'clock. That game will be shown on NFL Network. So make sure y'all tune in to that game right there. Um, let's see.
Have you heard about anything else regarding Kasim?
Kasim Vols. No, the only thing I heard about was that put out there. Uh, is that they did a biopsy from his heart to see, to try to figure out what happened. And I hate that this happened to him because Coach Taylor was going to utilize him more this season than he was any other seasons under uh Coach Sanders.
So that's like, I don't really know the what exactly happened, but I do know that a couple weeks before, not I mean it's probably been about 4 weeks, he indicated that he was actually going to the portal.
Right.
So I don't know. I think he was no longer like, he was going into the portal, so he wasn't on the team. But I just haven't heard anything else. Usually his dad will come on here and say something. So hopefully he is recovering good and we'll be able to hear something back tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, man. What's going on, Uncle Sid? Now, I did tell you. I told you the other day that I chopped up the show, put the timestamps on there. It took me about at least an hour, kind of like an hour and 15 minutes to do. All right, we got Mister, and so you want to go ahead and do your do as the mad scientist with chopping it up, uh, kind of putting it out there. But it took me an hour and 15 minutes to get that done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do all that. I'll chop up a section of the show and put it on my page before I chop up the whole show.
How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, Mr. Mona.
Hey, Mr. Ford, thank you for coming on.
I've been
Definitely
listening.
like to hear
I've
your
been
thoughts on
listening.
the HBCU Combine.
Listen, they shouted out Nugget today on ESPN. They shouted out the X-Man, Xavier Smith, and there was one other person I can't think right now. It was three people they talked about on ESPN on the 6 o'clock segment from the Combine today. I know those two. It was Nugget and I'm going to be honest with you. When Nugget initially came to Jackson State, I thought that he and James, the linebacker, I thought they were the two most impressive people on that team. Remember the year they played in the spring?
Yeah,
Y'all
James
remember
didn't
that?
get to play in the spring, but
Yeah,
Nugget played a little bit.
I think that's where Nugget was really utilized, and that's probably
Yes,
where
he
he got his
was.
best film from. His best
I,
film came from that spring season.
yeah, I became a big fan of his. I think he's a shoe-in. And y'all are right about the corner and the safety thing. But the other thing about Nugget, Nugget can punt return and kickoff return.
Right? He can
And
play
see, that's
special
a
teams.
wild card. Huh?
He can play the special team.
Yeah, anytime you got that special team ability, man, that's how you stay around 10 and 15 years. Because I worked with a guy who was in the league 15 years and never started, but he was an ace on special teams.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think he's a shoe-in. According to the report today that the Smith kid put on the show too, Xavier Smith, the kid from
Oh
FAMU,
yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
said
He
he
was
put on the
flying down.
show
I'm
too, man.
sorry. He was flying down the field, y'all. Like
Yeah,
I said, looking at his 40 time, it
yeah,
says a 4.39. I think
yeah.
he's faster than that.
And now, is he kickoff and punt return also?
He can be that.
Okay, because
He's
that'll
gonna be
help
a
him out
slot
a lot.
receiver. He's gonna be a
Huh?
slot receiver, but he's a slot
Yeah, he's
receiver.
slot.
But I look
He
at him
definitely slot.
and I will put him on punt and kick returns.
Yeah, now he all the Nugget and Smith. I really want them to go AFC, and I want them to go out west. I really now the team for me for Nugget would definitely be Seattle with the way that Pete Carroll likes to run them DBs. He likes them tall, rangy DBs. The guy that's coming to your home state, that's leaving San Francisco and coming to the Houston Texans, this
Ryan.
DeMarco? Yeah, the way he
D'Amico
plays
Ryan.
his corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he fit right in Houston. Houston has a tradition of giving a lot of HBCU players a chance. When you look at them, especially Jackson State, Dr. Doom, the guy, remember Vernon Perry, the guy from Kenny Houston played with the Prairie View. He was a Hall of Famer from Prairie View. But yeah, I could see Nugget in Houston. That would be great, But I think he makes it. I really do. I think Nugget, because the other thing you got to keep in mind now, Nugget was one of Kirby Smart's top recruits. Now, Kirby Smart don't go after people unless they have pro potential, and a lot of it,
And he got yanked at the last hour.
Yeah. I think he makes it. I think he makes it, and I'm pulling for him. And I'm like Mr. Mona. I'm just glad we did have this opportunity today to have our own combine. I think that it helps those kids when they have their own. And
and like I said, it's not bad to have this type of combine and not have to go to Indianapolis because, like you said, we already got scouts here at this event.
Right.
And not just scouts from the NFL, but you also got scouts from the XFL, you got scouts from the USFL, CFL. Arena League is about to start back up again. So anything that you can do to earn a living and be a professional.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Because just because the NFL ain't give you no call, don't mean that you just give up on your dream like that.
Yeah. Now, did I mention? We had two Prairie View players here with the Falcons this year. We had Quentin Bale and we had Kadarius Hart, and Hart started some games.
Right.
Yeah.
Kadarius
They were
Hodge,
both
he's
our
actually a good player. He's an
Who's
actually
that?
good receiver. Kadarius
Oh
Hodge.
yeah.
He
Because he
was in
came to us
Cleveland.
from Cleveland, I think.
When he was in Cleveland, he can actually run and he can actually go.
Oh yeah.
He's from that Willie Simmons.
Yeah, that's right. And Quentin Bell was recruited by Willie Simmons, but he
Right.
recruited him as a wide receiver, and then Dooley turned him into a defensive end, I think, or a linebacker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did real well at the workouts when they had the pro day down at Prairie View. He really impressed the Raider organization. The Raiders gave him the first chance. He got a championship, got a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's now here with the Falcons. So he'll never get a ring with the Falcons. We know that.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Hey, said, look, I can see him. I can see Nugget with the Cowboys. I can actually see him with the Cowboys.
But you got two corners will probably be there 10 years, right? That what is it, Trayvon? What you got? What's your boy name? He'll probably be there 10 years. I know. Who's the other?
Well, it was Anthony Brown, but he tore his Achilles.
Okay.
About a month and a half ago.
Right.
But we got a rookie that started in Deron Bland when Brown went down, Deron Bland came in. He was tied for the team lead in interceptions at 5.
Oh, okay.
So Trey was trying to do the same thing he did the year before, try to get 11, 12 interceptions, and I think he only got like 4 this past season. But
yeah. The league did what they usually do to them kind of corners like Diggs. They make them play run defense. They try, to knock some energy out you. They send them big linemen your way because he really came on the scene. Nobody really was looking for him to do anything that last year, but everybody knew his name this year, and they game plan for him.
Oh yeah.
Because he looks like a wide receiver, but he can play. I love his anticipation.
And who was that? Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah, I love his anticipation.
When he got drafted, not drafted, but when he got recruited to go to Alabama, he was a wide receiver.
Yeah, he looks like a wide out. He has a wide out deal.
They had so many wide receivers on the team. You flip them over to DB.
Yeah. Hey, was Zay Bolden there today?
Zay Bolden was there, but he didn't. He was only there. He's only there to answer questions. He didn't do any.
Where did you see Zay Bolden at?
I think he said he was going to be there
at the Combine.
He's supposed to be in New Orleans. He said in his interview he's going to New Orleans, but he wasn't doing any. He wasn't doing any trip. Yeah, he wasn't doing any running.
I think he makes it. I really do. I think Zay Bolden makes it.
Right.
Because he has so many, his what he brings to the table is a lot. This punt, kickoff return, he's a one-on-one specialist. It's a lot of things you can do with him.
Mm-hmm. And for him to be a tall and rangy,
yeah. Now, I tell the kid I thought was ready for the pros now, but I think you told me left. I was a John Huggins fan now. I'm a big-time John Huggins fan now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was in it. I thought the NFL was written all over him.
He's ready to go. He looked like he can go pro.
Because
he can play either. Because the way he can play safety.
He can play linebacker, too.
He can play linebacker. He can play box safety.
Yeah,
as a strong safety and can play a little bit of linebacker. He can do. He can do a little bit of corner.
Oh, I love
slot. Yeah. He's a Swiss Army knife. On defense.
Yeah, he was. Because, he was the kind of kid he could play on the defensive line. You could stand him up on the defensive line. You could play him in the linebacker area, and you could play him in the defensive backfield.
Mm-hmm.
You could do so much with him. That's why I thought he might go pro. So
And
he
then see
went to
that's
Ole Miss or somewhere, right?
right. And see that's
Yeah.
the thing about it too. Like last season, if I I would have put
Did who go to Ole Miss? Who did you
I
say?
think John
John
Huggins,
Huggins. I
No,
think he.
John Huggins going to New Mexico State or
New
something.
Mexico, New Mexico. Yeah,
Not
Oh,
going to
that's
Ole Miss.
terrible. He left Jackson State for New Mexico State.
yeah.
Oh,
Look, look,
I mean,
Lord
did he
bless.
actually do that?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's terrible. Listen, they got so
listen,
many
you know,
issues at New Mexico and New Mexico State. One of them just canceled the basketball season, didn't they?
Some New
there
Mexico
he is
State. We
right
just
there.
talked about
Yeah,
it.
you broke that news, and then it became
Yep.
national news. I saw it one day, all day.
Oh, and guess what? When we had talked about that, probably like a day or two later, they fired the coach.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
They fired him.
Now, didn't Mississippi Valley just got the quarterback from, was it State or from New Mexico?
I ain't even
I
seen it.
did. You
I
talking
had
about that 3-star quarterback, right?
Yeah,
Valley
yeah.
listen, when I tell you Coach Wade is not playing no games and nobody in the SWAC should be sleeping on Valley. They just shouldn't.
Oh, yeah, well,
They're trying to bring it back to dominance, they not playing.
hey, let me, if I can reflect for a minute, when I was a student at Grambling, Valley was tough. Listen, Willie Tottenham was rolling when I was in the SWAC. When I was a student out there,
Yeah.
they were rolling, man.
Okay,
That
he
was,
said Sam Smith. Shout out to Sam Smith. Dino Maldonado.
Yep, there he is right there. Dino Maldonado. He is from New Mexico State. So dang. So John Huggins left
I
the
can't
SWAC
believe that for
and
New
they done took
Mexico
his
State.
quarterback.
What conference are they in?
They are in.
Is it WAC?
No, they're not in the WAC
They
because the
not
WAC
in,
is the WAC is FCS right now.
okay, so what is New Mexico State in?
I think they are independent.
Oh, they're independent. Okay,
They
but
in
they're
the
FBS, right? Are they FBS?
it says they're in the Western Athletic.
But see, during football season, because the Western Athletic Conference went down to a FCS program, they're independent.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh yeah, it does say
the
it.
deal
It
is
says they're in
once the WAC.
subdivision college football
Mhm.
as an independent.
So the deal is once the WAC goes back to D1 to be
Mhm.
to be in the FBS,
Right,
then New Mexico State is going to go back and rejoin the conference as for football. They're
right.
still in the
Okay,
WAC for basketball, but in football they're independent.
and they're FBS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm just, man. He left Jackson State to go to New Mexico State. Man,
Did you
that was
see
dumb.
Did you see who offered Shane Hooks? So
Who
No,
he
who
offered
offered?
Shane
Shane
Cook?
Hooks was at the he was at the game, the Alcorn versus Jackson State game, and he participated in the halftime.
Uh,
Uh
Hold on.
I guess there was some type of like dunking competition.
uh,
But anyway, he received an opportunity to play for Western Michigan. So he must still be in the portal.
man, darn. So they made an offer this at the game.
Offer came out, I guess, on the 17th. It says that he got an opportunity to play for uh Western Michigan football.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm guessing he's still in the portal.
Now
Some
that's a
people
MAC.
said that
What conference? Is that the MAC conference? What is that? Is that the MAC conference? Mid American?
What school are you going to?
I'm saying what
Western Michigan.
Western
Well, I
Michigan,
don't
is
know
that
if
the
he's going
MAC?
there. I don't think he's gonna
Mm.
actually go there.
What conference is that?
Western Michigan. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
MAC conference.
that's a MAC conference. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do have good football up there.
huh?
They have good football in that conference.
Yeah, I follow the MAC. Anybody any Malachi Whiteman sightings lately? He's not playing basketball, is he?
No,
Good, because he
not
needs to
on.
get himself ready for the draft.
Malachi?
I'm saying, because he'll be he'll be a junior next year. What will he be next year?
He'll be a junior next year.
Junior.
Yeah, he needs to work. He needs to get his body together. Because like and y'all are absolutely right about that. What they'll do when Nugget goes to the league, they'll put 10 to 15 pounds. Now, the thing about weight is this: as long as it does not affect your speed, they will add pounds. But if not, like he's running a 4.3 and they put the weight on him, he goes down to 4.5, they're going to take the weight off of him. I'm telling you. Because they don't want the weight to affect your speed.
That's why I was just telling Timon about that. I said you put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle,
Yeah.
but he maintains his speed, then he's gonna be legit. I mean, he already has.
I think he's a shoe-in. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Nuggets a
Right.
shoe-in. I think he's a
Herman
shoe-in.
went to Idaho State.
Huh?
Herman Smith went to Idaho State.
That was ignorant. The Vandals. When's the last time they did something?
Been a minute.
Shoot,
Been a minute.
That was ignorant.
But I put it just like this. I would have, if Herman, because I know he's from San Diego.
Yeah, he's from San Diego.
I would have went to Sacramento State. If you're gonna go to the Big West, to the Big Sky Conference, because that's the Big Sky Conference right there.
Yeah, they recruit the city of San Diego real heavy.
I would have went to Sacramento State, because look at the season that they just had this past season.
Yeah, that coach just got that Stanford job.
Right.
That's Blue. Them, Blue was hyping that man all year. Blue on here. Is Blue on here?
I haven't seen Blue.
He's
what? Blue was down in New Orleans this week.
I'm about to say he should be in New Orleans that year because he gonna wherever that ball at, he gonna follow it. Yeah. So, about to say, but he was hyping Sacramento State all year and the coach.
Shout out to Blue. Now there is some swag basketball going on right now. Just ain't Jackson State.
Man. Listen, I'm glad you just brought that up. Let me just say this before I even get started. We got to do better. Now listen, football is in a great place. The commissioner, the SWAC office, the presidents, and them ADs, we got to take SWAC basketball to a higher level. Now, my thing is this. You got in the middle of the SWAC, you got cities like Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas. There's no reason why we shouldn't have shooting forwards at 6'6" and 6'7". Rebounding forwards and centers at least 6'9". These guys in the SWAC, man, listen, I watched 2 games here Saturday, right? A lot of them kids, we got them Division II kids. Them kids are not no Division I basketball player. Come on now. These people try to act like we dumb and don't know the difference between Division II and Division I. Well, listen, we do know the difference. We know the difference. And I'm telling you, a lot of these SWAC schools are playing with Division II kids. And it don't make no sense that Southern does not have at least 4 or 5 kids at 6'7" and 6'8", and it makes no sense that Jackson State don't have big time guards, whether it be point or shooting. Jackson State should have guards at least 6'4" and 6'5". You're the hottest school on the internet. You get more publicity than anybody. You can't tell me you can't go to New York, you can't go to Chicago, and you can't go to Detroit and get you some 6'4", 6'5" guards. They got to bring. Listen, football is in a good place. We got to do something about this SWAC basketball. It's too low on the ground. We got to bring it up.
And that is the rant from
Mr. Ford. That's right. We got to bring that basketball up. We can't do this. See, what I'm seeing right now is what they call benign neglect. You can't tell me that these schools, Southern, you talking about Southern, Jackson State, Alabama State. Now, listen, I like Texas Southern's roster. I've seen them 2 or 3 times. The only thing, the problem with Texas Southern is he has poor guard play. That he got the same problem that Jackson got. He got poor guard play. Okay, Southern doesn't have a front line. Now, they play a lot of kids. They'll run you in the ground and all that, but they don't have no dominant people up front. It don't make no. Listen, the best basketball players right now coming out of Texas. That's why that darn Big 12 is so good in basketball. You know, the media says that the best basketball is the ACC. That's a lie. The last 10 years, the best basketball has been that Big 12. That basketball in that Big 12 is good. What we got to do is every time one of them kids say they want to transfer, put a SWAC school in front of him.
I agree with you on here, Mr. Ford. I agree with this Sam Smith. JSU SWAC has spotlight right now. Internet and social media interactions are at an all-time high. They are. And just like you said, Mr. Ford, the basketball end needs to be up to par where we have.
It's got to come up. It's got to come up. And see, this is the other thing I'm upset about, too. Now, Jackson State hosted Alcorn last Saturday in Jackson. And then the paid attendance was 1,200 or something. What that place should have been overrun with people. What's going on? You got your arch rival coming into Jackson. You on national TV, and then it says the paid attendance was 1,000 or something. And that building on 8,000. I mean, in the 8,000 seats in that building.
Like 8,000.
Listen, it should have been a packed house, man. It should have been a packed house for the girls.
A game like that in a situation like that should have been packed. It should have been. And if you can't pack it out, you could at least have at least 5,000 up in there.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't pack it out, then go get them high school children and go get them middle school and elementary kids. They'd love to come. Sell them a $2 ticket. I guarantee you they'll come. Because that don't make no sense. You bringing Alcorn into Jackson and it's not packed out. It's something wrong. That's what I'm telling you. Dr. McClellan and them got to make it a priority. They got to get that basketball together. And I still say, I'm waiting on this tournament. I hope this tournament ain't no 300 folks at the finals now. I don't want to see that again. That's what it was last year at UAB. It was 300 people at the finals.
What you say, Simona?
I said they have to get it together for the attendance, especially the women's. We've been winning.
We got to get it. See, the football right now. Now, Doc, I done said this 100 times. We getting a kid in the SWAC for football now that has NFL, CFL, XFL, USFL potential. My biggest thing now is what these presidents gonna do, what these ADs gonna do, what these faculty reps gonna do, and the kind of athletic staff you got and support staff. That's the question mark. Because whoever's got the best in the SWAC, that's who's gonna win the SWAC.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna tell you what's going on on the women's side, y'all. Women's side, Prairie View beat Mississippi Valley by 21, 72-51. Alabama A&M with an 8-point victory over FAMU, 77. That's a 12-point victory, 77-65. Right now, with 19 seconds left on the fourth quarter, Pine Bluff is beating up on Texas Southern 79-52. Coach Dawn Thornton got them girls rolling now. And right now, as we talking right now, Bethune and Alabama State are going into a third overtime.
This is women?
65 women's.
Whoa.
They are in a third overtime, y'all.
I tell you what, with all them distractions Bethune-Cookman has had, that's great. That's a good program down at Alabama State, too, Coach Jackson. She has a great program.
Oh, yeah. On the women's side, they all done. Howard defeats Morgan 64-56. Eastern Shore destroys North Carolina Central 92-74. This is all
girls or
boys.
That's girls or boys. Women. Okay.
Uh-huh. Delaware State with the 1-point squeaker against South Carolina State,
Okay.
50-49. And this was an ugly game, but somebody had to come out with this game right here. Norfolk State defeats Coppin State 47-36.
That guy's doing a good job at Norfolk State for those girls. He was once a boys' assistant. His name is Vickers, I believe. He played for Norfolk State. He's doing a great job. I think Howard's girls are having a great year, right? Howard girls.
Yeah, Howard girls is they're a game behind Norfolk and Morgan State right now.
Yeah. Okay. The guy at Morgan State years ago, he was at Bowie State. He was really good. He was the coach in Bowie. They were CIAA. They were really good. He left and went to Delaware State, and now I think he's at Morgan State.
Yep. And then on the men's side, for the SWAC, both of these games are Pine Bluff and Texas Southern, Alabama State, and Bethune are delayed because the other games are going right now.
Oh yeah, I'm with FAMU and Alabama A&M about to come on TV. They're getting ready.
Right.
I'm getting ready to turn to it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna be on that's ESPNU.
Right, and then Prairie View is Valley is at Prairie View today, so they start at 8:00. That FAMU Alabama A&M game is at 8. The Bethune Alabama State game is delayed because the girls are going to a third overtime, and the Pine Bluff Texas Southern game is delayed right now because the women's team for both schools are still playing. So I think they should be at final right now. So on the MEAC side, which is still good, y'all. Right now with the MEAC men, Howard is up by 6 at halftime, 34-28 against Morgan State. We got North Carolina Central at halftime, up at halftime against Maryland Eastern Shore, 30-23. South Carolina State has a 1-point lead right now against Delaware State, 36-35, with 17:43 left in the second half. And Norfolk right now is at halftime against Coppin State, 31-27. Right now, that's
Are
Norfolk.
any of these on HBCU Go today? Are any of these games on HBCU?
I think so. Somebody should be. Usually they show a Monday night game.
I can check and see.
Go ahead and look.
Yeah, I think somebody's on. Yeah. I want to see what FAMU look. Everybody's complaining. Kofi and them are saying they're gonna run both of the coaches out. So I'm trying to see what FAM looks like. They want both of them, the girls coach out, and they want the boys coach out too.
They don't like to lose. That's for sure.
Oh man. See, when I was in school, FAMU had a good basketball program. A guy named AJ Triplett was the head coach. That's been years ago.
Oh, they're showing the Valley versus Prairie View games tonight.
That's at Prairie View?
Mm-hmm.
Where? That's at Valley or Prairie View?
Prairie View.
Oh, so they out in Prairie. Okay. But yeah, FAM used to be good, pretty good. But that was the 70s, It's been a long time.
When you put all your eggs in one basket for football.
Yeah, that's basically what they do.
Care about basketball after that.
Yeah. And don't forget, they've given up on women and men's track too. Now, that baseball coach, that guy does a great job, but they're not supporting him like they should. But he does a great job.
If we could support Coach Brady when he was the head coach of the baseball team, they need to do the same thing for Omar.
Yeah, Omar's good. I like him. He's good.
What's going on, Reggie? So right now, let's see with the lead right now. Let's see what's up with the standings for in the MEAC. I was still hanging up in there at 9-1.
That's girls or boys?
That's men's right there.
That guy's the head coach at Howard played for Mike Krzyzewski. He's a Duke
Right.
graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Blake, is it Larry Blakeney?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a Duke graduate.
Mm-hmm. So now, I want to get into this topic because I know somebody we had talked about it briefly for a second, but it is what it is. The AD for Albany State resigns. Really, he really didn't resign. His contract was up February the 12th, but he caught so much flack for offering a scholarship to Marcus Stokes, the quarterback that got his scholarship offer revoked from the University of Florida.
Right.
Doesn't matter to me if the man, the kid, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. If he can play,
And he can play. He can play. I've seen it.
He can play.
Yeah, he can play. I've seen him.
He does. You don't revoke the scholarship.
No, I mean, I didn't understand it either, but that's what they decided to do. But I'm gonna tell you this: they got a rising star when they got Quinn Gray. I think that program is going because, like y'all were talking earlier, that Benedict program set a standard this year, man. I'm just waiting to see them this year because they were so dominant last season, man. Right. And I think that this guy here can be an answer to Benedict. This Quinn Gray. Quinn Gray has a resume out this world. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that somebody in the SWAC would eventually get him as an OC or eventually a head coach. He's the son of a coach. He played for Billy Joe. He's a record holder at Florida A&M. He can recruit. You saw his recruiting class at Albany State, right?
I haven't seen it all the way through.
Oh, you got to see it, Doc. He's what I'm telling y'all about. See, this guy knows how to use the portal. Plus, he knows how to go in and get top high school. He had a big time class. I'm just waiting to see what this guy's going to do at Albany State. I think he's going to do well.
And see, to me, when it comes down to it, y'all, it don't matter if the kid he messed up. He knew he messed up. He knew he messed up. But for him to get that second chance, he could have went anywhere for a second chance. People ain't gonna, FBS school wasn't really gonna touch him like that because that's more like, I want to say toxic, but it was more not at the right time. That's what they will say. That would be the professional way to say it. It wasn't at the right time that we give him this scholarship.
Well, listen, I go back to Jackson. You had Terry Yott, who had some criminal problems. You had the Clayton kid who went to Ole Miss, and both of them kids did well at Jackson State. Y'all gave him a second chance. I didn't understand the whole thing because I'm gonna be honest with
you. That was much more egregious because
Marriott
was tied with like.
Marriott could have went to jail. He was supposed to go to jail.
That's what I'm saying. But didn't he finish up one of the leading passes in Jackson State history?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If that young man, that Marcus Stokes guy, had gotten with Quinn Gray, Quinn would have got that kid ready for the NFL. That's kind of Coach Quinn is.
So here it goes. Albany State University AD out following Marcus Stokes' offer. And this is shout out to HBCU Game Day. My boy Stephen J. Gaither did a hell of a job writing this article right here. So this was posted on February 17th, which was Saturday. No, that was last week. It was last Friday.
Yeah, I thought I saw it too.
So roughly a month.
How would the AD be responsible for the football coaches making the offer? Did they just want to? They didn't want to actually fire Coach Quinn Gray because he's responsible for the offers. Why would they fire the AD?
Well, that might
So,
not be the main thing. It might be some other
might,
things going
might
on
be
too.
so
Yeah,
roughly a month
yeah.
after making headlines for offering Marcus Stokes, Albany State is looking for a new director of athletics. Tony Duckworth announced on Friday that his time as AD at Albany State University ended on February the 12th. ASU has yet to release a statement on the change. His statement reads, in part, when I arrived in Albany on January the 2nd, 2020, I knew this would be the most challenging undertaking of my 27-year career in college athletics. I have worked tirelessly in this role, and I am proud of what we accomplished during my 3+ years, Duckworth wrote. While I have had detractors during my tenure, I have also met a number of amazing people. I have enjoyed supporting the student athletes. Let me see. I have enjoyed supporting the student athletes in their training and competition. I would like to acknowledge the coaches and the staff for our collective effort in enhancing the student athlete experience. Duckworth went on to list his accomplishments as AD. One not listed was leading a prompt and successful search for a head coach after Gabe Gardena accepted a position as head coach at Charleston Southern in late November of 2022. The search resulted in the hiring of Quinn Gray a few weeks later, and he was introduced as head coach in January. Shortly after he was announced as head coach, Quinn Gray and his staff offered Marcus Stokes, a 4-star quarterback, a scholarship. Stokes, who is white, was released from his scholarship offer from the University of Florida after posting a video of him saying the N-word as he recited rap lyrics. ASU was the first school to offer Stokes after he was released from Florida. Alabama A&M, HBCU, and the SWAC ultimately offered him as well. However, blowback on social media was swift, and just days after news of Stokes' offer from ASU surfaced, Quinn Gray issued an open letter apologizing to ASU President Marion Ross Frederick for the offer. A source tells HBCU Game Day that President Frederick faced pressure from alumni to remove Duckworth from his post after the offer, as he had knowledge of the offer. Duckworth is white.
That
HBCU
is
Game Day
not.
has
That
reached
don't
out
even make
to Tony
sense.
Duckworth,
Well,
waiting on
let,
a response.
let me say this,
And,
Doc.
yeah,
There's a lady that was once the track coach at Florida A&M. Her name is Dr. Darlene Moore.
mm-hmm.
She's somebody that Albany State needs to look at. She's an alum. She knows what she's doing. She's an award-winning track coach, and I think she'd be a great AD. I think she could come in and do a great job there. I don't know where she is. I know she was at FAM at one time, but she's a graduate of Albany State. Her name is Dr. Darlene Moore. She'd be a great replacement. She'd be a
So,
great replacement.
um, so here's the thing. I'm just gonna put it out there. Issue started when they offered the kid, gave him a scholarship offer. Um, of course, nobody's not gonna touch him. So, University of Florida had him a scholarship offer. He did what he did. They rescinded it, and so basically, he's back to square one, trying to get an offer,
No,
trying to
he
get a
signed
college
with West
offer.
Florida. He signed with West
Yeah,
Florida.
he signed with West Florida. That's a
Yeah,
D2 school.
yeah, but he'll probably
Um,
stay there 1 year. Somebody will get this kid can play.
he can play
Yeah,
now,
he'll stay
and
there
I'm gonna
1 or 2 years.
say it just like this, y'all. Let him be at West Florida for like a year. Make
That's
sure
what's going to happen.
he keep his nose clean.
Yeah,
Nobody's not gonna remember what he did on the FBS level.
yeah. But like I said, didn't Terry out them? Did they kill somebody? What did Terry out do?
Terry out down there
He was
was
implicated with manslaughter, basically.
Yeah, that's
manslaughter.
what I
Yeah.
thought.
That there was a fight that broke out, and whoever it was they were fighting, he ended up succumbing to his injuries.
Yeah,
So
It's something for Emmett from this is from Emmett Jones. He said that the athletic director is in charge of all athletic programs, including scholarship offers, but somebody wanted him out.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's nothing.
think that's what happened right there. Somebody
Yeah,
wanted that man out.
yeah. They wanted him out and use this as a reason to get him out.
Right.
Albany State has an outstanding program. They've, have you been to the campus yet, Doc?
I've never been to Albany
got
State.
a beautiful. You know what? Albany State sits right on the Flint River, and I think it was during the '90s. The Flint River flooded. The campus, which has had a history of being flooded out, was flooded out, and President Clinton comes down there and promises the people he will rebuild the school. And baby, did he rebuild it? They got a beautiful campus, nice facilities. To be honest with you, I don't know if they got the mindset, but they got the SWAC facilities. It's about 6,000 to 7,000 students at Albany State.
Okay.
They in a great situation down there.
That was definitely it was fake outrage. Basically,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Blow back. You know, everything nowadays, there's cancel culture that goes on.
Right.
If they would have just waited it out like a week, I guarantee you nobody would care, because guess what? He got an offer and nobody cares.
Listen, like you said, Doc, that kid will go down there and show out at West Florida for a year or two, and that kid gonna end up at Southern Cal or UCLA or somewhere, or Baylor. Or you watch Baylor, because this kid this kid can play.
Yeah. So here's another question. Shout out to Reggie. Does Marcus Stokes' punishment fit the crime? Does the punishment fit the crime?
Well, it's just like Miss Timona just said, we're under cancel culture.
Right.
That's what they under now. Everything, if you make a mistake, they ready to cancel you out. But I'm just telling you, because there's white skin privileges, this kid gonna play 1 or 2 years for West Florida, and then that kid gonna end up at University of Houston, Baylor, UCLA. Just what? I already know that scenario. But my thing is, I would love to have had that kid in the SWAC. I'm gonna be honest with you. Can you imagine that kid with Cornell Maynard?
Oh, he would have been.
Oh, nice. Man, Maynard be back, bro.
Oh, it'd have been nice.
Yeah, because I watch films on him. He's a big kid with an arm, and he knows the game.
Because he went to Nice High School in
Right. That's right. He's he's from the same hometown as Willie Gallum, St. Augustine, I think it is.
Yeah. So he went to Nice High School. That's the same high school that Tim Tebow went to.
Tim Tebow, yeah. That's right. They're from St. Augustine. That's right outside of Jacksonville. Yeah. When they were talking about him, I went and looked him up. That kid can play now, and he's got size. Yeah. And like I said, we don't need to be turning away, especially quarterbacks. No, we don't need to be turning them away now.
Now, here's the thing.
Ain't that good.
Here's the thing, too, from Deputy Mario. Said there's some big kids that got second or third chance and they has been in major troubles.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, and it's just said, Terry out them had manslaughter charges.
And that's
this one didn't break no role.
And you really think about it, that cancel culture came in and got Art Browns too when he was.
Oh man, he's getting everything, man. Listen, man, cancel culture is something else, man. They come in and
he had nothing to do with what happened at Baylor.
Yeah, man, they come in and get you.
He was. He's just there to coach a football team.
Yeah,
he's not police. He's just there to coach a football team.
Yeah, that cancel culture, man, is something else, man.
But look at it. Look at it like this, y'all. Simone, how many kids on Jackson State squad right now that's white?
Y'all got several, don't you? Because I see them on the video. All your special team people are white, aren't they?
Probably 6 or 7.
Yeah.
JJ Weeks. We have Avery Salerno, who just came.
You got
Humphreys.
We had Jacob Polite, but he's at Colorado.
Humphreys,
Hagler.
What about the kid the man that's a Marine? He's a linebacker.
Oh, Turley.
Yeah.
And you don't think they listen to the music all the time, y'all. They in the same, they in the football team is like a family. As always, y'all. Football team is like a family. Football team is like a gang. Back in the day, Jackson State football squad was like a fraternity. Like Luke Jackson on the team, like G Baby, like it was like it's a fraternity. So they listen to the same thing that everybody else that's our skin color listen to. Do they recite the lyrics? They probably recite the lyrics, but they don't say too much of anything. You don't hear them. But you know what? And if he was if this kid, Marcus Stokes, was in his car minding his own damn business.
I
Yeah.
mean, listen, but you still can't be on there. Come on now.
Yeah, you can't be. I
Regardless,
mean,
you
yeah,
can't
you
be on
cannot
here.
be on.
I think that could have been addressed by a coach or the university, but a talent like that, I think we've already had a show where we basically said we got about three quarterbacks in the SWAC that you would pay to go see. And I remember we talked about the kid at FAM. You got them kids out there at Jackson State, everybody waiting to see them. We don't know what Southern and Gramblin's got. We paid to see the kid at Alabama State, but he ain't got no coaching. We don't know what Alabama A&M. So my thing, I would love to have seen the kid in the SWAC, man. Now, this stuff about using inappropriate language, that can be handled. That can be handled. But to say that you don't want him, I don't get that. We're not that good now. You talking about a 4-star kid, and you don't want him in your conference? Somebody need to talk to me.
They're just as scared of the cancel culture, you know.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. But listen, I would love to have had that kid in the spot. But like I said, things are really looking up down at Albany State with this guy, with this Quinn Gray. Quinn's gonna bring some outstanding athletes. I looked at his recruiting class. I mean, he got some studs, man. Mr. Mona, he got some studs, and he went into them high school and got some legitimate D1 prospects at a Division II school. You just wait and see that list.
About the amount of what were you saying about the Benedict College players?
Listen, man. I saw Benedict College. Yeah, I saw them 3 times this year. I'm telling you, that was a dominant program. Now, I don't know. What I'm waiting to see is can Coach Chinnisberry put together another season like he had last year? Because they were dominant, man. That offensive line was big, and they could move people out. They could run it. Now, the starting quarterback, he's in the transfer portal. The second string quarterback, he ran out of eligibility. He transferred from Southern. But if this guy can put together another season like he had last year, man, because they were dominant, man. They destroyed Albany State's homecoming. They destroyed Fort Valley's homecoming, and they destroyed Morehouse's homecoming.
Ooh, they beat the brace off of Morehouse.
Yes, they did. And them games was on TV. Those games were on TV.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was just like this. Tyler said Alabama A&M. He said they had him over at A&M with Maynard. It'll be over.
Oh, it'll be up, man. I'm telling you, man, what the stuff Maynard would teach him in that offense. Because, see, Maynard's offense, that offense has to have a prolific quarterback. He has to be a guy who has, like, quote-unquote, pro potential. Because I've watched Maynard's offense from the time he was at Winston-Salem. It's a controlled tempo, but it's NFL-type action. And until he gets that kind of a quarterback like what the kid name was from St. Louis?
Akil Glass.
Yeah, he can't win. He's got to have that kind of quarterback.
Right.
He's got to have that big NFL type, prototype type quarterback. And that boy would have been the man for him, too. That boy's about 6'4", about 200 pounds with an arm. Yeah.
I watched the XFL, y'all, last night. I watched Seattle take on the DC Defenders. So shout out to Reggie Barlow. Shout out to Reggie Barlow.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama State.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And and his defensive coordinator, Greg Williams. He's the one
Yeah.
that coordinated the bounty gate again in New Orleans.
Oh yeah. You know, I remember when Reggie played. He played for Coach Markham. He was tough down at Bama State. He went. Reggie should have a Super Bowl ring.
Okay, I have to see. Remember what teams he played for?
He was the
Oh, he was at
Tampa Bay
Jacksonville.
Bucks, Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm trying. Was he the Raiders? You got your computer in front of?
Let me see.
He played about 2 or 3 teams, I think. I think it was Jacksonville Jack. I know that he has a championship with I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a punt or kickoff returner, and he was a wide receiver. But I saw him when he was at. He's from Montgomery. He's from Montgomery.
Yeah.
He did a great job of recruiting. They just see I think. I'm trying to think of he couldn't get by Jay Hobson, wasn't it? Wasn't it Jay Hobson he had? That was when we had that takeover by Jay Hobson. Wasn't he down there during that period?
So he was at Jacksonville. He got drafted by Jacksonville, played with them for 5 years, went to the Raiders, played with them for the 1 year. But then, he did win the championship with the Buccaneers. But as a coach, he was the QB coach over at Alabama State.
That's right.
He was the head. Remember, he was the head coach.
Yeah, he broke some kids down. Yeah, like I said, I think it was. Yeah, he was at Virginia State. But I'm saying when he was in the SWAC as a head coach, wasn't that during the time of Jay Hobson?
Yep.
Because remember, now these people don't want to talk about it no more because we don't believe in giving people credit when they deserve credit. Listen, Jay Hobson took them whoopings that first year. I remember the second year he was at Alcorn, the 2 teams that played in the SWAC championship was Southern and Jackson State. Here's the thing, that was 2013. He had beaten both of them. And after that, it was a lights out. Now, I know that we don't want to give him no credit, but Jay Hobson was something else. I watched him.
Right.
He was something else now.
So that year, let me see.
What was his years at Alabama State as head coach?
07 to 2014.
Shoot, he might have been, 2007?
2007 to 2014. 2006 to 2014.
Listen, he had a Pete Richardson product.
Yeah, he had a decent record, 49 and 42.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the coaches the dominant coach, I think, was might have been Pete Richardson, Comedy.
Rob Broadway.
Yeah, that's right. Rod Broadway. Yeah, he had that. That's who we couldn't get by. Them people right there. Because that Rod Broadway was something else down at Grambling.
And then when Broadway left, he got it. They gave the job to
was it Doug? I thought Fobbs got it after.
It might be Doug Williams for a second time, and then Roger Fobbs took it over.
Yeah, because Fobbs rolled with that kid. Well, he had Jonathan Williams wasn't bad, but he rolled with that kid from Dallas, Texas. That's right, Kincaid. That's right, because Kincaid won the SWAC twice, and he won the Celebration Bowl once. And then he lost it to A&T. He lost the Celebration Bowl to A&T. Yeah, that's really the last time Grambling rolled. Matter of fact, Eric Dooley was his offensive coordinator.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was the better head coach after Charles Cole the third.
Oh, that guy was good too. Wait a minute. That guy right there was good. That Charles Cole you talking about? He was he had been Phil Farmer's, he had been at the University of Tennessee. He was a Kansas State graduate. That guy brought a system down there. He was really good, man. That Cole guy was good. I remember him. He was good. He was a Kansas State graduate. He had worked for Phil Farmer at University of Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, he was real good.
And then Markham, he was
listen, man. I first met up with Markham. Markham was the offensive coordinator at Jackson State under W.C. Gordon. That was in the mid-'80s.
He beat Comedy. I think that was 07.
Now, who beat Comedy?
Barlow.
Oh, he did? Because
And
I didn't think
said
he
they
ever
played
won anything against
UAPB.
Jackson.
They went to the SWAC championship, played UAPB.
Okay, I think I remember that. I think I remember that game. Yeah. That was it Monty Coleman was the coach at UAPB at that time? Who was the coach? Because I think I remember that. Because now UAPB beat Jackson State one year for the SWAC. That was Comegy's lost to Monty Coleman. Do you remember that? And what's the name? Eric Dooley was the offensive coordinator for Pine Bluff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think.
When he was when he was at Alabama State, I mean, of course you were in the East, so Deputy Murray said Coleman was the coach at the time.
Yeah, Monty Coleman. He had been a Washington Redskin great. He had played for Washington Redskin about 15 years. He should have 2 or 3 Super Bowl rings.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his offense coordinator was Eric Dooley. Eric had a quarterback. I think that guy's deceased now. He was 6'4", could throw it. I can't Ben something like that. Huh?
Travaris Jackson.
Now that was Travaris was at Alabama State. He played for that man you just called out, that Charlie Cole. That was his squad. See, Travaris originally went to Arkansas. Then he transferred back home to Alabama State. He was drafted 2nd round. I want to say, was it Minnesota? Because Travaris is deceased too.
Right. Yeah, he went to Minnesota.
He went to Minnesota, 2nd round, I think.
He said Deputy Martin said that was the year Pine Bluff had Teron Armstead on the team.
Yeah, that's right. That's against Jackson. That's right. That's right.
So
they had a big time quarterback too. I just can't think of his name. I want to say Ben something, Ben Coleman, Ben Jones, something. I can't remember what his name was. But they had a quarterback who could throw it, but he was young. He was like a freshman or a sophomore, but he could throw that football.
So Reggie Barlow had 5 winning seasons at Alabama State, and each season he had gotten better. So,
well,
and I know they messed them over. The state messed them over because they decided not to go with him anymore. But he had just signed a contract extension and just started getting paid the money that he signed with the extension. And so, yeah, I think he was in litigation for that for a while.
Yeah, he was.
They were supposed to owe him.
He did a great job of recruiting. I can tell you that.
Especially if he took y'all to the SWAC championship game too, man.
Yeah, he never had any success with his OCs. He always the last one I remember was Fred Keiss. You know, Keiss worked for everybody and whatever. Because Keiss was at Alcorn, he was at Southern, he was at Alabama State. I want to say he was at Tennessee State.
Yeah. Derek White said Ben Anderson was at UAPB. I think
that's him. QB. Ben Anderson. I think Ben is deceased. That's him, Ben Anderson. He was a young quarterback at the time. They won the SWAC championship. They beat Jackson State. That was Comegy's team. The quarterback was the white kid named Clayton something. He had been at Ole Miss. What was that kid's name? Clayton what? They were running that pistol. I can't think of that guy's. I know he had been at Ole Miss.
And he went to where?
He was a quarterback at Jackson State. He left Ole Miss and I think he came to Jackson State.
Yeah, I gotta remember that name.
His name was Clayton something. He had gone to Ole Miss. I think he was from Mississippi.
Clayton Moore.
That's him. Clayton Moore. That's him.
Yeah,
they lost to
he drowned last year.
Who was this?
Said Ben Anderson. They say he drowned last
that's what I know. That's what I thought something had happened to him. Yeah, he's deceased. Yeah. But he could throw that football, man. But Eric Dooley was his offense coordinator.
Man, I gotta watch that game. I gotta see if that game is on my guy Alex Hines, his YouTube page.
Okay, which game was it?
the Pine Bluff Jackson State SWAC championship game.
They killed him on that. What's his name? Used to run a lot of man to man, and they lost the game on a bomb. Kid ran a post or something, but it was covering man to man. That's how they lost that game.
Wait a minute, hold on. You said you just hired John Shannon as your regional sales manager?
Who was that?
John Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon was at Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the man from Biloxi that had Kent and them.
Wow.
Okay.
You said
Who is this that they had, John Shannon?
Cedric Walker. He was on the show on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, if John Shannon had stayed at Jackson, Kent would have went pro. He
if
left.
John Shannon would have stayed at Jackson, I think it would have been him being the head coach instead of Judge being the head coach.
Yeah, Shannon left and went to Troy State. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, he left and went to Troy.
The outrage. Now, here's the thing: who's gonna be the head? Who's gonna be the new AD down at Albany State? I know you just mentioned the lady.
They should get that lady, Dr. Darlene Moore. She'd come in and calm that down.
But I don't see any issue as far as what's gonna happen as with how the football team is gonna be, because I feel like Quinn Gray's gonna come in there. He's already there.
He's gonna do a great job, man.
Putting his footprint on the football program. So
yeah, they better lock him up, because if they don't, they're gonna lose him. Because I'm telling you something, when they see the kind of program Quinn's gonna put together, I got to look at his staff. I don't know what he's got on the staff, but I'm gonna tell you something. Quinn been around some great offensive and some great head coaches, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, I'm telling you, man. They listen, man. Auburn State picked a great one, man. That was a great.
Hey, one of you over there watching basketball?
No, I didn't. I seen it was Valley versus Prairie View, so I didn't really tune into that one.
I'm watching Florida A&M and Alabama A&M. There's 5 minutes left. A&M is up by 22-21. They listen. This facility that Alabama A&M has, this thing is beautiful.
Yeah.
This facility is beautiful, man. A&M has a new arena. It's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, man. So we got the usual. Here goes Sean. Sean, what's up, man? Oh Lord, bro, come on. I said Bama State and Bethune-Cookman went into a second overtime. Come on.
This must be the night of overtimes tonight or something.
Gotta be. It's President's Day, y'all.
Hey, didn't Grambling and Southern, they went overtime on Saturday, right?
Yeah, they went overtime also.
Yeah. But I'm disappointed in. I love Sean Woods. He got to upgrade his recruiting, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like your coach too, but he got to upgrade his recruiting. They got to come with bigger. I want to see some big time boys at Jackson in basketball. I want some kids that can, either can get a shot at the NBA or get a shot to go to Europe. Y'all deserve that. You can listen, man. You got to upgrade the recruiting, man.
But like I said, when I watched that XFL game, it was actually good, y'all. And
I watched 2 of them.
Yeah, the play on the field was fast. It was hard hitting. They kind of go, I won't say speed the game up, but like almost like a running clock to actually make the game go a little bit faster than what it is. I like that dynamic right there. The kickoff, like how they do the kickoff, where they
just hold it in their hand and they start running. They don't actually, so does that mean that the kickers don't get a chance? They don't have kickers in that?
Yeah, they do have a kicker. So so what it is that the coverage team is on one line, and then the return team is 5 yards in front of them. So so what it is that until the ball is kicked off by the kicker, it has to be received by the return man before either one can actually move.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you a Mr. Mona question,
Yes, sir.
and either one can go first. If you were asked to give a State of the Union address on SWAC basketball, what would you say and how would you improve it? Mr. Mona, let's go with you first.
Wow. That's a loaded question.
And I'm
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
yeah,
here today to talk about the state of the SWAC and basketball.
right.
We have a platform and we have an opportunity to elevate at all levels in all of our sports. It is imperative that you utilize the resources that you do have to get quality talent. If I don't know if you guys need to start utilizing your internet, social media. We need talented, tall, tough, disciplined young men. Start using the portal
Okay.
because FAMU, you'll just make it. You're making FAMU look bad. You make Valley. You just make it. You're making the SWAC look bad. You're making the SWAC. Jackson State, Mr. Mo Williams. We need to see some elevating. We gotta see some progress.
See.
Your go.
All right. So, dear constituents of HBCU OverDrive and SheLovesThee podcast channel, I humbly come to you today with the State of the Union of the SWAC as it pertains to basketball. I say this in reference that the product that we have can be better represented on TV and on social media. Where I would start off at is I would start off with promoting the women's side of basketball, especially Jackson State and Coach Tamika Reed.
Okay.
Because what she doing out there, she is kicking ass and taking names, and nobody's not out there to see it. We can't average 100, 200 people to go see the women's basketball game, but we'll average another 1,000 so to go see the men's play, and they're playing mediocre.
Right.
Now, on the men's side, we need to do more, like we said, we need to do more recruiting in the transfer portal.
Okay.
And just like Mr. Ford referred earlier, we need to go to these major cities: LA, Detroit, Chicago, Memphis, Dallas, Houston.
Right.
Africa, you
Hell,
forgot about
if
Africa.
that's the case, you could go to the East Coast to Virginia.
Mr. Ford said we need to go to Africa. Okay.
And he said he needs to go to Africa to get the 6'9s, the 6'10s, the 6'11s. What I see out there is bad guard play, especially from Jackson State. It's bad guard play. It's sometimes
you
it's
must
horrible.
be talking about on the men's side because
I'm on the men's side.
I don't even give Alcorn no props, but boy, when I say Alcorn,
I'm on the men's side. But Alcorn is a whole different breed, y'all.
And let's not act like Southern and Grambling didn't represent in.
Oh, Southern Grambling is if I heard Grambling's not playing Alcorn again. They only played them once. But they only played them one time this season, so that's over and done. And Alcorn and
Southern
Grambling,
they put on a good show,
they put on a good show.
They did.
But I'm saying
They did.
I wanted to see Alcorn and Grambling go at it again this season. I wanted to see them go at it again. Because those two teams right there is someone gonna be number one in the tournament and somebody gonna be number two. And I feel like in the end, they're gonna meet up in the conference championship game, which is gonna be broadcast on ESPN platform. And somebody's going to the dance. Somebody's going to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
It's gonna be one of those two teams right there.
Well, I'm hoping that it's you talking about, but at the men's level.
On the men's level.
Well, I think
Women's,
that
we already,
Alcorn, I don't want to say it, but Alcorn would be the best representative.
Yeah, but they still
from
got
what
to
I
play
see, the play that I see right now, and I don't even really fool with Alcorn like that. But I'm making a analysis based on the play.
Right. They did look impressive Saturday.
What she saw on Saturday, for her brief moment, she said, and I quote, "I had to turn it off because they was kicking our ass and they was playing that damn good."
Yeah. Well, Doc, I have for you and Mr. Moore, I have one more question, and I want to shoot this at you. This is my second question and my final question. Who has the best basketball? And we're talking about men. Mm-hmm. Who has the best basketball, MEAC or SWAC? And tell us why. Mr. Mona, you go first.
I'm referring that I'm gonna defer that to Doc Holliday, and then I'm gonna do the follow up. The follow up.
All right.
I gotta get my.
All right. I would say the difference between MEAC basketball, SWAC basketball, MEAC basketball, they can get down and dirty with it. They have 4 teams that's, even though it's an 8-team league,
right,
for basketball, they have 4 teams that are within earshot of each other, with Howard leading the pack.
Right.
On top of the MEAC. The SWAC, on the other hand, is pretty much almost up and down the court. Fast paced, but like I said, some teams don't have the great guard play. They don't know how to play a half court set on offense. They don't know when to trap, to press, to get into that half court defense. But Mr. Mona said, as far as watching Alcorn and then seeing Grambling, what they have done early in the season against said Power 5 schools, those 2 teams are the cream of the crop for SWAC basketball, the SWAC men's basketball.
Right.
Southern is coming in at a good third.
Okay.
And if they could get they ish together, Jackson State can actually be up there in the top 3, top 4. But right now, if the MEAC and the SWAC would have went head to head in basketball, the MEAC would wipe us off the floor.
Whoa.
They right now, I'm just saying right now, if you have not watched a MEAC game, right now, they would wipe us off the floor.
My turn.
Yeah, your turn.
All right. I'm finna share this. I have to look at some things first.
Uh-oh.
Can you share that?
Yeah, I got you. Here she goes. She come with some. She got to come with proof, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know this.
All right. Well, let's take a look at these 2 conferences and see if we can figure some things out.
Right.
So the MEAC basketball, the top 4 teams, Howard 17-10 overall, 9-1 in the conference. Norfolk State is 19-7 overall, 8-2 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland East, is it Eastern?
Sure, Maryland Eastern Shore. Okay. Used to be Maryland State.
Maryland Eastern Shore is 15-10 overall and
Mm.
7-3 in the conference.
Okay.
And then, of course, I know that's not North Carolina Central. I know that
Yep.
ain't who I think it is.
I love that guy. That
They
guy's good. Moulton.
13-11 overall and
Mhm.
6-4 in the conference.
Okay.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at the SWAC teams. We got Alcorn State, who is, by the way, 12-2 overall in the conference
Mm.
and
Ooh.
15-11 overall. They lost only to Jackson State by 1 point.
Mhm.
And what was the other team they lost to?
Was it Southern?
I think it was Southern.
Yep. They lost to Southern. That was a pretty big, large loss, 68-80. Ooh.
Yeah, I think didn't HBCU go do that game?
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty
televised.
big loss.
Yeah, I watched it. Remember they were about to fight at the end of the game because the kid did a dunk or something. Something happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. So for me, I'm going to look at the quality of who these teams played.
Okay.
Now, for Alcorn, they beat Wichita State.
Oh,
they
yeah.
also beat Stephen F. Austin.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with CSU Bakerfield, but basically
That's California. That's California.
They had some preseason wins that I like.
Right.
Grambling as well. Grambling, I was very impressed with their preseason play.
Yeah, they beat Colorado Buffaloes, right?
Yep.
They beat a couple of big names.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with Grambling's play preseason. And they're second place right now, but they beat UNT Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Colorado. They beat UTSA, Dartmouth, Incarnate Word, Vanderbilt. Man, what? They had some really big wins on their schedule. This is prior to even SWAC play.
Right.
And then we see Southern and Grambling playing at the NBA All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to roll with the SWAC. I feel like the SWAC, when it comes to the top 3 to 4 teams, that we have something really good going here.
Right.
We just need for everybody in the SWAC to be elevated. You can't just depend on these top tier teams to represent. So I need for the rest of us, which is Valley and especially FAMU. Oh God,
right.
FAMU.
With they got the biggest arena in the SWAC, right?
Most beautifulest.
Yeah,
I don't even think
9,000 seats.
Word, but it is so beautiful there, and they just
stink up the play.
You just making everybody look bad.
Yeah, bringing down the what you call it, doctor, the rating when they when they do the rating of the conference, they bring it down.
Now I'm
definitely rolling with the SWAC just because based off of the preseason play of Grambling and Alcorn, I like what they did and the fact that they you have to do strength of schedule. I did do strength of schedule. You want me to look at the MEAC strength?
Well, let me ask Mr. Mona. Let me ask this question since you said it's a SWAC. Right now, if you had to give the coach of the year for men's basketball, because we all know Tamika Reed is dominant, she is SWAC basketball. But if you had to give the coach of the year for men's basketball, who would you give it to?
Alcorn's. You talking about SWAC?
Men. Okay, Doc, who would you give it to?
Yeah, it's a toss up between Alcorn and Grambling.
Okay.
I would kind of lean a little bit towards the head coach at Grambling. I'm not discounting what anything what Alcorn is doing, the coach for Alcorn is doing, but I know with that coach for Grambling and what he did, like Timona said, what he's done in the non-conference section of basketball play, he was very, very competitive and he won. especially when
Right.
you beat Vanderbilt and Colorado, and then he played Arizona State also.
Did he beat them?
I think he played Arizona State. I remember earlier it was one of those games that he won. He won against Arizona State, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
But
Bobby
now,
Hurley, isn't it? Isn't that Bobby Hurley?
But I'm looking
yeah,
at Howard's strength of schedule, and I don't see who on here is a big name
hold
team
on.
that they beat. Austin P they beat by 1. FIU, is that a good team? Harvard,
And
Mount St.
FIU,
Mary.
Harvard. See,
I feel like when it comes down to like strength of schedule, I feel like Grambling definitely had a harder strength of schedule than Howard.
but see, mostly Howard's going to be East Coast. Like,
I don't care if
and
it's East or West. I'm saying Alcorn had a Grambling had a harder strength of schedule than Howard.
Okay.
but I'm gonna say it just like this: Colorado, you ain't gonna see him in a tournament.
No.
You're not gonna. I mean, you'll probably see Vanderbilt in the tournament if they can get out the conference tournament. But I'm looking at Virginia Commonwealth. They are a tournament regular.
Oh yeah.
Harvard can't, if they playing decent, they could actually win the Ivy League.
That's
Mount
Tommy
St.
Amaker.
Mary's, Mount St. Mary's they was in the tournament like 2 years ago. I think they went to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
LaSalle, that's the Explorers. That's a Philadelphia school. So
Who's that? Who's from Philly?
LaSalle.
Yeah, LaSalle. That's part of the Big Five. Yeah, you're right. That's Villanova, St. Joe's.
They beat up on each other. So I'm not saying that it was, with the names, but I'm just saying as far as with quality, because this is what I'm going to see. Those are teams that I'm going to check out and see when the tournament starts up. Look at it. Baylor, who is like ranked
lost to Baylor.
They lost to Baylor. UCLA, they lost to UCLA. Monmouth, they beat Monmouth. I don't know about St. Mary's College. Houston, they got destroyed by
William
Houston.
and Mary, Bowling Green.
Old Dominion, you'll probably see them in the tournament.
ODU.
I mean, these people are in the tournament though because they beat their particular division. Like,
yeah, and
right?
then but you look at Norfolk State. Coach Jones, shout out to Coach Robert Jones.
Robert Jones. Mm-hmm.
He gives them a hard schedule.
I think that the person that had the hardest schedule of everybody is the
look at it when they played University of Houston. That was like right after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
They was not even they was in the top 5 in the AP poll. They're the number 1 team in the country right now.
Who is
Houston? The Cougars.
Mm-hmm.
That's Kevin Sampson.
Almost 48 points. Well, they lost by 48 points.
Baylor won the national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Coach Drew is not no slouch at Baylor. You got UCLA on your schedule, and not saying that they ain't get the chance to win, but the just to play them is kind of different. Like,
I want to know unless you're going to actually be competitive in some of these games.
So that Baylor game, he was competitive, but Baylor pulls out in the they pull away in the second half all the time. They're a second half team regardless, because Baylor should not even had them scoring 70 in this game. Baylor should have had them scoring like 40, and it should have been like 110 to 40. Baylor should have thought about this game and said, y'all try to disrespect us. And as you see down at the bottom, when they played Houston, they lost by 48. But because, like I said, the non-conference, when it comes to it with basketball, you try to be competitive, but it all translates into what you do when when the actual conference season starts. So if you go down towards when they start their conference, their first conference game.
First conference game. You said, "Oh, go down to
their
their
first,
first conference game."
yeah. So their first conference game is Eastern Shore, and so they always play. They play harder because they beat up on each other. It's just like in the sweat. We can play a
I
hard
was definitely
non-conference.
expecting for Grambling to really knock it out the ballpark with all these big wins that they did. I was expecting to see major wins in the SWAC, and I was absolutely surprised that they was getting beat. But I guess, like you said, when you're in rivalry, or excuse me, in conference, you play harder.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at it like this. I'm always gonna be a SWAC guy, regardless of anybody say. I'm gonna be a SWAC guy first and foremost. But from what I'm looking at between the SWAC basketball and the MEAC basketball, it's kind of like night and day. Now, like I said, when it comes to the SWAC, top two teams, I feel like the top two teams gonna meet in the conference tournament final.
Oh, that would be great.
They will meet in the conference tournament final, and that's gonna be a great game.
Yeah,
The sad part is that somebody win the conference, they'll win the tournament, and they're gonna be placed as a 16th seed in the first four.
But that's where they always put us, isn't it? And that where they always put the HBCUs in the 16th seed?
Mm-hmm.
Or they make us play in?
They make us play in the game, the playing game.
And so you're saying you saying that Jackson and Alcorn will meet up for the SWAC basketball championship at the tournament, right?
No, I said Grambling and Alcorn.
Okay. Grambling, okay.
Grambling and Alcorn.
Okay.
They will make the game interesting for about 30 minutes. And then the last 10 minutes of the game, the other team gonna come rumbling back because they don't is the defensive sets and the poor shooting and poor free throw shooting too. Poor free throw shooting kill your team too.
Well, and Doc, this will be a big change because usually, about the last 7 years, Texas Southern is always in that championship, isn't it?
Yeah, Texas Southern is always in the championship.
It's always a basketball, men.
So it's going to be different.
Yeah,
I did say I would show, but I am about to call it a night.
All right.
I'm about to call it a night because I got
Mr. Haynes is mad because I said that the SWAC basketball is harder than the MEAC. He didn't like that. But he didn't call in to let us know why the MEAC should be number one. So
we'll do that. We could do that on Wednesday.
SWAC all day.
We could do that
the
on
other
Wednesday.
thing on Wednesday, Doc, I want us to talk about where does Dr. Charles McClellan fit in and all of this. What can he do? What advice do you have for him to make SWAC basketball much better and take it to another level? We need to talk about that on Wednesday. Where does the commissioner fit in? What is it? What's in his purview or in his power to change where SWAC basketball is? Because I'm satisfied with the women. What I'm upset about is this men's play.
Well, we'll find out, y'all. We'll find out on the next Dragon Ball Z. My bad. We'll find out on Wednesday what Dr. McClellan should do pertaining to SWAC basketball, the men's side. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm doing it. I'm not gonna do a show tomorrow because I gotta go to work and I gotta put out some stuff because we're getting ready for baseball season.
Oh yeah.
For MLB.
Right.
Spring training starts
Hey, Doc, before you go, who won the games this weekend? Did anybody go undefeated in the game at Minute Maid, in the tournament at Minute Maid?
I don't even think nobody went undefeated. I know Southern lost to Jackson.
Okay. What about Grambling?
Grambling, I didn't
You
check
talking
it.
about the HBCU, the baseball?
Yeah, that was this weekend at Minute Maid Park.
So the baseball Southern was the only one that went undefeated.
Oh,
sure?
Southern went undefeated?
Yep.
I thought they lost.
Okay.
Nope. They were 3-0. They beat everybody.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So
Shout
they
out to
beat
CJ.
Grambling, they beat Jackson, and who else? Did they beat Texas Southern or Prairie View?
Prairie View, I think.
Okay. Okay.
But let's be about to gear up for Wednesday. See what Dr. McClellan's gonna do.
Yeah. And what advice do you have for him, Mr. Mona? What advice do you have for Dr. McClellan?
With regards to sports, like
with regards to SWAC men's basketball, how can we take it to another level?
Okay,
what can he do as a commissioner?
Alabama happen. Number one, stop trying to make stuff happen in Alabama. Stop trying to make stuff happen in Alabama.
Okay. I see you say. Yeah,
that's number one right there. We don't. No, stop it. Stop.
You gonna say you gonna give it to us on Wednesday?
Basketball, across football. Stop trying to make stuff happen in Alabama.
We got to talk about that ESPN contract too. I looked at it.
Listen, I wish people would just hush now. How much is the MEAC making?
I don't know. But
exactly. How much is CAA making?
They just signed a deal. I told you 4 years, $40 million. $10
million a year.
Yeah, but you got what? Probably like 14 teams in the conference.
Okay. And that's my thing. If you're gonna compare and say we deserve more, I need some context with it. What are these other people making? And before anybody says, well, who cares what they're making? Y'all pick and choose when y'all want to compare HBCUs to PWIs. You pick and choose which one. Now, when Dion said y'all need to be paid more than $300,000 for these money games, all of a sudden is, well, nobody's been paid that much. Nobody gets that much money for money games. Now all of a sudden we talking about media rights. It's who cares how much they made? Who cares? We're talking about us. I'll tell you right now, there's certain games that you will see a lot of viewers, and that's probably the ones that ESPN blacked out so that they could have the primary rights to show. Certain games nobody's watching, and if they are watching, it's less than a certain amount. So what I feel is, yes, they got lowballed, but from what I understand, there's room for improvement. But you also have to look at how many people are actually tuned into some of these games. How much support are you actually getting? If the support and the views aren't matching, you can't come to the table and ask for more money. You have to look at who's viewing what. I look at the Celebration Bowl and I see that we are pulling in 2 million plus views every year, regardless of who it is.
That's big.
So do I think that each team should get more than $1 million? It doesn't even have to necessarily be from cricket, but we need secondary and third and fourth sponsors to add another million to that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally.
But I think that for HBCUs, you have to be creative in realizing that the white man is not going to equalize you ever. It's not going to happen. It's just not. So you're going to have to figure out what are ways that we can make money. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Sponsors for these games where you have 30, 40,000 plus, it's a slam dunk. you get these T-Mobiles, Amazon Primes to have these marketing activations. You can have T-Mobile sponsor the Wi-Fi at 4 of Jackson State's games. And basically, if a person wants to get on the Wi-Fi, you put your email in there, put a check mark. That's how they get people's marketing information. Basically, what I'm saying is that means you're gonna have at least 30,000 people who gave you their first and last name and their email address. 30,000 all on one day. And T-Mobile sponsors that game and gives us 200,000 for each little activation. That's almost $1 million right there.
So, Mr. Mona, do you want the buyout at the celebration to go up to 2 million or 3 million? I mean, not the buyout. I mean the purse for the teams. Do you want it to go to 2 million or 3 million?
I feel like the purse should be 2 million from cricket,
right?
And then we can get some other sponsors in there to even add more to that.
Okay.
And then like there's some that the well, we're getting out of the Orange Blossom Classic, but the Orange Blossom Classic is right there near a casino. Ain't no way in hell I do not have a poker tournament at the Hard Rock Cafe starting on Thursday, and I invite all these different celebrities to come play in this tournament. And it's a bounty tournament. If it's one thing that poker players do, they love to gamble and they love to play in poker tournaments. You get Kevin Hart there, and you just invite a whole bunch of celebrities, and basically if you knock them out, then you get $5,000. But my point is, the point of this big poker tournament is that's how you get another sponsor. Hard Rock Cafe should be sponsoring as well as Orange Blossom Classic. That's another $1 million that can be made.
Right.
So there's
because
always
Miami is a city of it's a city of celebrities, isn't it? I mean, celebrities in Miami are a dime a dozen, huh?
It's nothing to put money towards it. It's just and I think for me, from what I see that the commissioner does, and I don't like it, and I'm not in the back room, so I don't know what's going on, but I see too many times he tries to make Alabama fetch, and it's not.
Okay.
I understand that's where the SWAC corporate office is.
Yeah, the office is.
Not making Alabama, it's just not to me. Now maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like Birmingham or Montgomery is where it's at. And I might be a little biased to say that I feel like Jackson is where it's at, or I feel like bringing it towards Jackson or Southern, or maybe I'm a little biased about that, but I just don't think that it's I think it should be central. Everything central.
Right.
The central part of the SWAC is Jackson. So
hey y'all, Alabama A&M has a 7-foot basketball player from Nigeria. Alabama A&M.
They must be listening to you, Mr. Ford.
They got a 7-foot. Well, Grambling had a 6'11" from Africa Saturday. He was a factor in the game. He didn't really have an offensive game, but they have a 7-footer here. He's shooting a free throw. He's from Nigeria. Yeah, I was trying to see his classification.
I think he's a junior. I remember I talked about that Saturday. Yeah, because he transferred from Stephen F. Foster. But man, we can talk all about that on Wednesday.
Wait, I just wanted to share one more thing, and then you can get off. I just wanted to share one more thing because we got on these media rights, and everybody is in an uproar about these media rights, and I am trying my best to figure out, why do people want to do media rights so bad? Like, what is going on? Can you pull that thing up? Did you see? I'm trying to let me just show it to you real quick. Did you pull it up?
Yep, it's up.
Okay. So the reason why I wanted to share this is because if you notice, there's been
a huge attack on media rights and what SWAC gets and this, that, and the third. And you have people that are exposing contracts and exposing lawsuits, but they're not somebody's echoing.
I think it's
Okay. Somebody's still echoing. Can you mute?
hold on.
Okay, cool. So this is I'm just going to show this to you guys real quick. This is a lawsuit and it's from HBCU Pro Football. And the defendant is called New Vision Sports Properties, LLC. And also CBS Sports College Sports Network. And this is Victor Pelt. So Victor Pelt is now currently the co-owner of Urban Edge Network. And the reason why this is important to put into context is because there's certain people who are exposing contracts, exposing lawsuits, but they're not exposing everything. They're going to keep some things in the dark. So Victor Pelt was sued for breach of contract, and he also was sued because he was supposed to be producing he was supposed to be streaming some of these historically Black college and university football games, and he purported to have all of these different sponsors. And basically what happened is he promised to provide the recorded broadcast of 3 games and to pay a $50,000 broadcast fee, and then they promised to give 80% of the gross advertising revenues. So basically, Harvey Pelt was sued for intentional misrepresentation and pretending like you had these contracts with these people and you really didn't. Now, Harvey Pelt is no longer tied to New Vision Sports. That particular company has since dissolved. And then I guess he decided to start another company, and he was trying to do the same thing now with Urban Edge Network, which is he was trying to sign all these deals with these SWAC schools to stream the games. Anyway, I'm just going to tell you basically what happened. What happened is he was sued and they ended up finding him liable, and he was ordered to pay like $3 million for misrepresentation. I'm going to copy and paste it so that you guys can read this. But my point for bringing this up is that you have a lot of people who are purporting that this SWAC media deal is so bad and it's so bad, but the people who are saying it, they have ties to Victor Pelt and Urban Edge Network. And they feel like they got slighted because basically the commissioner let people know, hey, the jig is up. This person isn't all that he claims to be. So if you hear certain people saying negative stuff about the SWAC and the media rights, just go look and see who they're tied to. And there's a link. And that's all I have to say about that.
Uh-oh. Guess what? She done shot him down. She shot him down.
I don't know. I don't like that. I'm pretty sure that the commissioner is trying his hardest to help lead us into, the promised land. But for a person to have been sued for $3 million and found liable for misrepresentation, I wouldn't want any of my SWAC schools in business with them either.
Except for only one. Is it? It's Grambling. Grambling's the only one that's with Urban Edge Network.
No, they was trying to get FAMU in there.
Yeah, I know they were trying to get FAMU until the jig was up and go shade.
He was doing a whole bunch of stuff. Good Lord. Everybody was like, why y'all let the AD go? Why y'all let the AD go? What? He was just doing whatever he wanted to do. If he felt like he wanted to sign something, he didn't ask nobody, didn't get no type of clearance. He just went ahead and got it signed. Like, what? How does that even work? How do you just get somebody to say, oh, I want like the wrapping of the cars? I don't know if you guys were seeing NASCAR and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those didn't go through the proper channels. Yep. So all of those people that are talking negative about the SWAC and the media rights, they're all tied to Harvey Pelt or Victor Pelt.
Right.
I wouldn't have to be off script with it.
Oh, there's one. Roland Martin. There's two. Yard Talk HBCU. There's two.
They call them infiltrators.
Yeah. Y'all expose these lawsuits that's going on, but y'all didn't even show us that Victor Pelt had to pay $3 million. And that's a done deal. That's not something that's in limbo. He was ordered to pay $3 million for misrepresentation. He was putting certain logos on letterhead to make it seem like they had a joint deal. And they was like, I'm sorry to this man. I don't know who this man is. Sorry to this man. So y'all just be sure that when someone presents these certain facts about this is trash and that is trash, make sure, number one, you know what other FCS teams, FCS conferences are making. That's number one. And number two, make sure you realize who the information is coming from. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh, Joy. Oh, Lord. I'm about to get killed for this, y'all. It's all right, though. It's all right, though. I'm a big boy. I can handle myself. And,
Oh, yeah.
and if anybody wants to smoke, they know where they can find me.
Hey.
It's all about the smoke. They know where they can find me. My phone number ain't changed. My email ain't changed either. So my Instagram ain't changed. My Twitter ain't changed. Facebook ain't changed. So you know where you can find me.
And I'm not biased either. If I feel like I don't like something that they're doing, like when they try to move that Southern game to Southern versus Jackson State to Alabama, I will speak my mind and say no, I don't agree with it. So I'm not on nobody.
I think it should be in New Orleans. What y'all think about at the Dome in New Orleans?
Are they giving it to us for free?
Yeah, that's what we have to work on.
Bring to the table. I'm not with it. These cities be making 10, 15, 20 million dollars.
Yeah.
Like I need for us to walk away. The amount of money that you guys say, oh, we need to play a money game. You need to be getting paid 3 money games to go in the year. So that means you need $2 million per team, and we need $250,000 from each team for a hotel and travel, and we're gonna need an extra $100,000 for or $200,000 for our band. So if we can get 2.5 million, 2 million in the clear, and 500,000 for travel and food in our band, I'm with it. Otherwise, no.
I'm trying to get up off of here. The wifey is like, it's supposed to be an hour show.
Why you paste the stream in there?
Just say what you gotta say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm done.
I ain't talking about you. I ain't talking about you. I'm just saying. I know you did your TED Talk. You know how you do.
I did my TED Talk. I said what I had to say. Just be mindful of sheep. No, what is it? Wolves in sheep's clothing. And look at their intent. When they're giving you information, figure out why they feeding you that type of information. That's all.
Reggie, why he said I gotta get all my fitted cats bulletproof now? Oh my God. Come on now. No. Like I said, if anybody got a problem with me, I don't care. It don't matter. And then my wife is with the smoke. Joe, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Welcome to coming on to the show, though, for the first time, man.
Hey, what's going on? Can y'all hear me, man?
We can hear you loud and clear.
All right. I don't want to argue. I just want to have a discussion. That's all. Is it okay, Mr. Timona?
Oh,
Is
are
it?
you tapping me in or something?
I'm sorry.
You're tapping me in? You tapping my shoulder?
Yeah, I'm tapping your shoulder.
Okay, what's up?
Okay, I just have one question.
Okay.
Do you think the SWAC media deal was a good deal?
You talking about the one that was made before
The
the commissioner
ESPN,
became the
the
commissioner, or
the ESPN deal. Do you think that media deal was a good deal?
the one that was already signed prior to the commissioner?
Yeah. No. What? How long the commissioner been a commissioner?
You only been a commissioner for about what? 4 years.
4
5
years?
years.
That
Yeah.
ESPN deal wasn't that signed in 2016?
Nah, 2019.
Right before the is that right before the
Right before COVID and all that.
right before
Right. It was
COVID?
before COVID.
McCullough did do that deal. And once again, I ask, do you think that deal was a good deal?
I think that with the state of the football at that point in time,
Mm-hmm.
what the output was overall for the SWAC, that the commissioner came to a deal with these people.
Okay.
Now we know how our football was in 2019. It was not good.
Correct.
So we're going to talk about the output, and then we're going to look at the numbers.
Okay.
What do you have when you're going to the table and you want to make a deal?
I got
tell
you.
them why you deserve more.
I got you.
Right.
Ask
So
another
if you
question.
don't have a product that's even worth putting out,
Mm-hmm.
what are you negotiating?
Okay. So I ask you again.
The
I'm asking
deal was
another.
already in place, and which I knew that the deal was already in place from the last commissioner. That's what I thought from 2016.
No. That deal was signed in 2019. McCullough signed the deal. The commissioner that's
And
now.
I just for
He
me,
signed the deal.
okay. So for me, I'm speaking of a marketing point. I'm coming from a marketing standpoint, and now mind you, ESPN is $1 billion company, right?
Gotcha.
You don't have a product that's going to make me any money, especially in 2019.
Okay.
Is anybody on this chat or in this that's watching this now, can you honestly say that the output of sports, the level was great in 2019?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Then. So if you're a corporation and you're coming to the table, this is what we're going to offer you, and we can revisit it at another time.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this. This is another question. Do you think the SWAC offers more? Do you believe the SWAC is worth more than any other FCS conference?
Do I believe it's worth more?
I'm asking you.
Or
Yeah,
do I believe it's worth more, or do I believe there's more viewers?
It's worth more.
Because of viewership? Because that's what ESPN looks at.
Okay.
ESPN looks at your viewership. How many people are tuning in to the games?
Okay.
So when we saw a burst in the last 3 years, we've seen a burst in HBCU football. We've seen a resurgence. We've seen interest. Now, mind you, the level of exposure to bring HBCU football as a whole to a national and even international level, we can thank Dion because he did bring those extra eyes. So, do I think the product that we have now and the viewership that we have now, do I think that we should now be getting paid more? Yes, and that's why we have HBCU Go.
Okay. Here's another question. Was HBCU football being televised? Wait, let me ask. Can I answer my question?
I haven't finished. When we talk about viewership, there's only certain games that are going to get a ridiculous amount of views. So Some of those are, number one, the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Like the one that's going to happen in August, I'm expecting for it to be Celebration Bowl numbers. It should be close to 2 to 2.5 million viewers for that particular game. And why is that? Number one, South Carolina State, they're going to market it to Kobe Durant from the what?
Rams.
The Rams, the LA Rams. Then we have Jackson State. Who do we have from there? We have James Houston. These are both rookies that just came out that first rookie class, and they did numbers. Then
I'm not.
Also look at Shaq Davis, who should be going to the NFL. Aubrey Miller, who should be going to the NFL. We have probably about Dejon Warren. We have so many, Isaiah Bolden. We have so many build up for this particular game. So for game, yes. For FAMU versus Jackson State, yes.
Listen. I'm not. Let's listen. Can you hear me out? Because I'm not talking about what's going on. I'm talking about when the deal was signed before 2019. Was HBCU schools being televised?
At that rate,
yes, we have.
we was being televised, but it wasn't at the rate what you're saying. What you saying? We seen in the last 2 years.
Okay, so I'm asking. I'm
gonna
ask my question again. Do you think the HBCU's product is worth more? I'm talking about the HBCU product overall is worth more.
We got it. We got the deal from HBCU Go. What is the problem? What more do you want?
They haven't answered my question.
I did answer your question. I said yes, we have the HBCU Go deal. Now, what more do you want?
No, listen to me. You keep cutting me off. You're not letting me finish my question. I'll try this again. Do you think the HBCU product as a whole is worth more than what the FCS product has? We're talking about from 2019 to now. Do you think? No, I'm saying before Prime. Do you think the HBCU product is worth more than what the FCS product is worth?
Before Prime.
Before Prime, yes.
Didn't I just answer that question by saying in 2019 that the level of play in football was not good? Did I not just say that?
No, I say the product as a whole. I ain't just talking about football. I'm talking about the product as a whole. Do you think your product is worth more than the white man product? We're gonna keep it real. Do you think your product is worth more than the white man product? Yeah, the FCS product, the PWI, whatever you want to call it.
How much? Okay, Joe, I have a question for you. How much is the FCS teams getting? How much is the FCF schools getting for their media rights?
That's not my concern.
Exactly, that's my point. You don't have anything to compare it to. What are they getting?
So you think the HBCU has a better deal from before Prime than the FCS product than the FCS has?
How are you asking me about FCS and you can't tell me what they're making?
Well, I'm asking you. I don't know. Can you tell me? They making more than what?
So you're coming to me with half information.
Okay, so I'm asking. I want you to school me.
And I want you to school me. If you're going to come to me with something, I'm going to ask you something. How much are other FCS conferences making? Let me pull up media rights deals because for some reason, oh wait, I got it right here. I had already looked this up the other day, but I just feel like you got too much dip on your chip because once again you're repeating something.
No, you have wait.
You're not bringing to the table the information. You're saying I don't know. How are you going to say you don't know?
No, listen to me. You never answer my question. I asked a simple question. Do you think your HBCU product is worth more than the FCS product? You never answered that. Do you think as a whole?
I don't know what you mean by. Are you talking about football wise today?
I said that. I said no. Listen.
Absolutely.
No, listen. I said before Prime. I say before Prime. Let me talk, please, because she never answered my question. I said before Prime. Do you think your HBCU product is worth more than the rest of the FCS product? You never answered that. That's a yes or no.
Are you talking about? We don't answer. I don't ever answer yes or no questions. That's for one. So number one, regardless, if we're talking, you're not making it specific. So if we're talking about attendance, what do we know about the SWAC and the attendance, and what do we know about HBCUs overall? You're going to get 2 to 3 HBCUs in the top 10 of all of FCS, whether it was good, bad, ugly, or non-existent. We have the best attendance, and that is fact. Now, number two, what are the other FCS schools, conferences making? You have to put this in context. If you don't know what it is, then you can't even come to me to the table, because how are you going to tell me what we should be making if you're not comparing what we're making to what other FCF schools are making? The same way you guys make an argument when Prime said you guys shouldn't be paying, you guys shouldn't be getting $300,000 for a money game. And you guys were the same ones out here hollering, how is he going to tell us how much that we should make? Other FCF schools, that's how much they make for money games. So once again,
I know. First of all, my love,
if you can't answer my question regarding how much other FCS conferences are making, then we can't even have this conversation.
Okay,
bring that to me to the table, and then we can talk.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna refer this to somebody. Mr. Ford, is you with me? Can I ask Mr. Ford this question? Mr. Ford, is you there?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah.
I have a simple question, Mr. Ford. We're talking about before Prime. Do you think your HBCU product as a whole, I ain't talking about attendance, I'm not talking about a viewership, I'm not talking about none of that. Is your HBCU product worth more than the rest of the FCS product? Do you think your product is worth more?
You saying before 2019?
Before 2019.
No. Listen, they were putting us on Thursday night. It was pathetic. No.
I'm asking you, I'm asking you what you think. Do you think it's worth more? Or it's not?
Now, you saying now?
No.
Yeah, we're worth far more. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I'm talking about before Prime.
No.
He already answered your question. He said no. What are you looking for?
Love. Hold on, my love. I'm a grown man. I never raised my voice at you one time. Please respect me.
I
never raised my voice at you. Okay, my love.
Okay. All right.
I never raised my voice at you.
No, before Prime. No, I remember because John Hendricks was Jackson's coach in 2019. If I'm 2019, it was it Grambling and A&T in the Celebration Bowl?
That's the last time.
Yes.
And that was like, who I'm trying to think. It wasn't even 35,000. So no. Prior to 2019 or that 2019, we're worth far more than what we were back in that day. Yeah, I think we are the best. I think that we are probably the biggest conference right now as far as drawing fans and television viewers in the FCS. Nobody can top the SWAC.
Wouldn't you say that in order for us to talk about what type of money we should be getting, you have to compare to, we have to compare apples to apples, meaning the SWAC.
Oh yeah, we got to do the research. We have to do the research.
Compared to another FCS conference, we can't compare ourselves to FBS.
No.
I got you. Okay, so Mr. Ford, this is a trick question. So basically you're saying the white man water was colder before 2019, because their water was better than the HBCU water, correct?
Well, I would say that their conferences at that time were better developed and worth more from 2019. Yeah. See, 20 was it? I'm trying to think. Was it 20 or 21? We had a renaissance. That was the beginning of a renaissance, and in other words, it was the beginning of a golden era.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But 2019, no, man.
I got you. So the white man ice was colder in 2019.
In 2019, yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah. It was.
Mr. Mona, that's your name, right, Tamona? Is that that's her name, Mr. Mona?
Yeah, Mr. Mona.
She Loves Thee. That's what I will be. That's my mommer. That's my podcast name is She Loves Thee.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
I don't
apologize.
know you like that. My name is SheLovesThee. Thank you.
Okay, I just hear when I listen, I hear Timon. I apologize.
I hope that you're not relegating Dion to some of these attendances.
Oh
I
hell
hope
no,
not.
hell no, hell no. Listen,
I'm
love.
just trying to figure out what your aim is. Like you keep on saying white
No, my
man's ice
love.
is colder. We've
No,
already discovered that why HBCU football, as far as talent, why it wasn't up to par, how desegregation of schools, like this is Black History Month. I don't think
I know
any
that.
of us on this channel are doubting that the level of talent at HBCUs in 2019 is not at the same level that it is now. I don't
I
Right.
think
understand.
anyone
Yeah.
on this channel is going to disagree with you that
That's
in
all
Right.
I have.
2023, the level of talent, as we can see at the HBCU Combine, as
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
see at the Reese's Senior Bowl, as we can see James Houston and Jacoby Durant, Shaq Davis, Isaiah Bolden. What I'm trying to get you to understand is you can't say, oh, the SEC is getting $400 million and we're getting pennies. You need to come to the table with the correct type of data. And that data is if you're going to talk about media rights, you need to be comparing FCS to FCS, which means SWAC needs to be compared to the same conferences where South Dakota State is. How much are they making per game? What is the breakdown of theirs? Then you can talk about whether or not it's a bad deal or not.
Okay, my love. Miss She D. What? I'm sorry, Miss my love. Okay, I'm not new
Not
to
your love.
HBCU.
She loves
I,
thee.
she
It's
loves
not
D.
your
I
heart.
apologize. I
There we
apologize.
go.
Listen, I ain't new to this HBCU. I've been watching HBCU since Pete Richardson, Doug Williams. I've been going to the body. I'm from New Orleans. I've been going to Southern games since I was a little boy. I'm almost 50 years old. So this HBCU is not new to me. I'm gonna tell you my point of view. I always think my HBCU is worth more than the FCS because I value my stuff higher. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying y'all wrong. All right. I'm gonna always value my HBCU sports, schools worth more than FCS. That's just me. I'm always value that. I understand you say y'all worth the you don't feel like the value is worth that. That's just me because I
I
grew
didn't
up in
say we
HBCU.
said the talent. And it's
No,
not even it's not about when you're talking to corporate and you're talking to sponsors and you're talking to marketing, it's not about what you feel, it's about what the numbers show and what the data shows. You can't go into a office and say, "I feel like we're the best in the world." They want to see data. And that's the thing. You're putting too much innuendo in it. When they sit down, they want to see data. How many viewers are you getting? How much? And they don't even look at attendance. How many viewers? Who's going to watch? Are these people going to subscribe? Are they going to continue to stay subscribed? That's the type of data that ESPN is going to look at. So, whatever you're saying with regard to how much you value, it's not about how much you value, it's about their value, what you bring to the table.
okay. So can I ask you a question? Quick question. If you're
I
selling
got
cupcakes, right? And you say you want to sell your cupcakes for $5, and I tell you they ain't worth $5, they only worth $2.
Well, then you go search for somebody that'll buy it for $5. But being
Okay.
that this is ESPN, which is the biggest sports media broadcast in the probably in the world,
it is
ESPN is
for
probably literally that right there, literally the biggest.
Gotcha. I understand it. I understand it. I'm just
yeah,
telling you how I value everything. That's all I'm
I
saying.
gotta
I know
land
you
this
want.
plane, y'all.
I know you want to cut me off. Y'all go ahead and have it. I'm always listening in the background. You
I
know,
really
I
didn't
just gotta
understand what you talked for like 30 minutes and I still never understood what your point was. You asked me if
no,
the media deal was bad in 2019. I
right.
told you basically, just to sum it up, in 2019 we didn't have any numbers to suggest that we were worth more. Regardless of how you feel, we didn't have the viewership or the numbers to dictate that we request more. 2023, we now have HBCU Go. and we have the ability to go back to the table and say, look at how many people are viewing our games. Let's make more money here. Let's make a side deal. Let's put it in so that if X amount of viewers for this game, we're going to get X amount of dollars. Now you have something to bring to the drawing board, and you have something that ESPN is going to say, you know what? We do need this game because look, there's 2 million viewers. Let's give them what they're asking for.
Yes, you already explained that to me. I had moved on from that a long time ago. I was just asking you what you value your stuff at. That's all. I ain't talking about media deals. I ain't talking about that. That's what I meant by I think my HBCUs are worth more than FCS. I wasn't talking about media deals or none of that stuff. I would rather pay more for my HBCU than I would pay for my FCS. That's all I was saying. But y'all have a good night. I ain't gonna hold y'all up. Mr. Ford, I love you in the history lesson. Y'all keep doing your thing, man. I'm listening in the background, man. That's all. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
Jesus. All right. I'm gonna land this plane. Good. I value my HBCU.
He said the white man's ice was colder, and then he said that he values his HBCUs. It was too much double talk for me.
Ain't nothing colder than my HBCU. But anyway, it was a good conversation. I would chop this up.
I don't know if the ice is the white man's ice is colder or if he values HBCU.
I understand, but I would chop this thing up. Mr. Ford, I would talk
Hey.
to you Wednesday.
Okay. You have a good night now. Bye, Miss Simone.
Right.
Bye, Mr. Ford. Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. I will.
Don't try to double talk a double talker. I like double talk. I'm gonna break it down. I like double talk.
See. All right, we're gonna see this Wednesday, y'all. This Wednesday, y'all. Oh my God. I got here hostage. I got here hostage.
My white ice man is colder. I value my HBCU above all. What? Which one? Which one is it?
All right, y'all, man. Look. Until then, y'all. In the meantime, between time, man.
Listen, it's like Trumpsters, off scripters. Make America great again. Make HBCU football. Like, bruh, stop.
I gotta leave here. I gotta never stop. But I'll talk to you. All right.
Let me put my son back to sleep. I done woke him up.
Oh, true. As always, man, this is another HBCU Overdrive live stream. Make sure that you like, comment, share. Most of all, subscribe to the channel. Continue to hit that notification bell. Continue to support the channel through Cash App, through Super Chat, Super Thanks, Super Stickers. Every dollar that goes into this channel, it goes right back into the channel. That you donate to the channel, it goes right back into the channel. Make sure you do the same thing for SheLovesThee. Make sure y'all go do the same support for her. Make sure you do support for everybody that has a positive understanding for HBCUs. All right, positive understanding. All right. So, as always, y'all be safe. First of all, y'all be blessed. Be blessed on this Mardi Gras Monday, y'all, because tomorrow is Fat Tuesday. Everybody have fun. But be blessed, stay safe, and y'all stay dangerous. We out of here. Peace.